people like me. You need people like me so you can point your f***ing fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Everybody want me to ask this, kid. Are you gonna stop Tank Davis? They want to see you and Tank Davis. I gotta be honest.
What?
Davis versus Davis. Just want to see that, bro.
Man, that's up to Tank. Dude, Tank want to see it for himself.
That's how you answer that question. Exactly how Keyshawn answered it. Does Tank want to see it for himself? Because he's supposed to be the guy in charge. He's supposed to be the A-side. So if anybody's supposed to be sending out offers, it's Tank to Keyshawn, not Keyshawn to Tank.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sending anybody a contract, they gonna sign this shit. Come on, bro.
Of course, I'm signing it.
Well, that's the basic idea, that the offers are supposed to be coming from Gervonta Davis to these fighters since he's not accepting offers from their promoters and their platforms. So how else is it supposed to happen? Gervonta is supposed to make it happen.
Bro, outside the bread, bro, like outside of the bread and the potential money that can be made, bro, money that can be made, bro, like, bro, I will fight that nigga, and I'm coming with that same energy he coming with. He can't do all them shenanigans and all that shit that he be doing with other people. He can't do that shit with me.
But I'm just saying, Key, listen. I tell everybody this. I told Shakur this too. I said, and Shakur be saying, Shakur, you know how Shakur is. He like, I'm gonna do what the I do, but I said, this is Tank. You gotta. This is Tank. It's Tank. Key, how you know what I'm saying? You think you ready for that? That's Tank.
Yes, I'm ready for that, bro. He can't with me, bro. He can't.
Yeah.
You try to give me hype too.
Yeah.
He can't with me, bro. Him and his coach know that, bro. The bald head dude. The dude told me, yo, just don't call Tank out for the rest of the year. Don't do this, don't do that. Gilly said, hold on, OG. What you mean? Don't call him out. What you mean?
Exactly right. So now you're trying to control who calls Gervonta Davis out to mitigate the demand, mitigate the pressure that you're under, since you never fought Devin Haney, you never fought Shakur, you're not about to.
Or Teofimo.
You waited too goddamn long to come around to fighting Vasyl Lomachenko, and now you want to nip this in the bud. You don't want Keyshawn calling your guy out.
Them niggas is worried. Niggas is worried. They want me to move at 140 to get out 35, so, I could be too big. I don't gotta fight them no more. No, nigga.
The excuse they used to not fight Devin Haney when he left 135 pounds.
I was staying at 35, and I'll be there until you ready to fight me.
Woo! Yo, Key, I love to smoke you on, boy. I ain't even gonna lie. This is what makes this shit exciting when niggas is getting here talking like this talk and delivering in that ring.
Yes, what Keyshawn is doing is what makes boxing exciting. And what Gervonta Davis is doing
Is why it's not exciting.
Gervonta Davis caught wind of this interview, and he was none too pleased. He said, stop dick eating, do that, and tell this little guy fighting on a Friday night he's not even worth mentioning, and Buddy's a bitch, cold bitch. Tell him do something. Oh, so Keyshawn Davis, a standout amateur and an Olympian, is not worth mentioning, but Lamont Roach is? Frank Martin is? Rolly Romero? Isaac Cruz was?
Why are you mad?
Gervonta continued, Najee, you don't get no more interviews either, pussy.
Why are you mad?
Why indeed? Why would he be mad at the interviewer for inquiring about a fight between them when they both campaign at the same weight? It's the job, essentially. And this is the difference in philosophy between a PBC fighter and everybody else. Everybody else in boxing. The PBC's approach and what has been Al Heyman's philosophy towards making fights, it's all about the smoke and all about the mirrors and all about the gimmicks. Like it is in the music industry, where Al Heyman came from. You know, the music industry's full of gimmicks and you can milk it. But that doesn't pan out too well in the sport of boxing, because sooner or later, it becomes about the boxing, your ability to box. Sooner or later, it becomes about the fighters, the fight, and the ability to fight sooner or later, and the gimmicks won't save you. You put out a hit record in the music industry, you might be able to ride that scooter for a long time, But in the sport of boxing, the gimmicks may be enough to get people to pay attention. The gimmicks may be enough to get people to take notice. But sooner or later, it's about the boxing. It becomes about the boxing and your ability to box. Are you really who they say you are?
Who you say you are?
Why would your trainer, Kenny Ellis, instruct Keyshawn Davis to refrain from calling you out if you are who you say you are? Why would he do that?
Keyshawn's supposed to call you out.
And not just Keyshawn, Devin Haney too, Shakur Stevenson too, and anybody, everybody at this weight is supposed to call you out. And you, if you are who you say you are, you're supposed to respond.
Might not be able to respond to all of these guys, but some of them, one of them, you haven't responded to none of them.
None.
And when I say respond, I'm not talking about going back and forth with these guys on social media. I'm talking about in the ring. You're supposed to settle it in the ring.
Clearly you don't want to. You waited too goddamn long for Vasyl Lomachenko, now he's leaving the sport. You didn't want to fight Devin when he was there, Teofimo when he was there. Shakur's still there, but you don't seem interested in fighting him. And now you don't want to fight Keyshawn.
But you think that somebody wants to give you $80 to $90 to watch you box a super featherweight?
Things are starting to plateau for Gervonta. They're starting to plateau big time because you can't get excited about him. That's what his track record shows. That if there's somebody out there that you want him to fight, in all likelihood, he won't fight them.
And how is that supposed to drum up business?
What is boxing's equivalent to the Harlem Globetrotters, and how you attend a show knowing they're going to win. They're going to get out there, they're going to play the same team they always do, and they're going to win.
Because it's not an actual contest. Gervonta Davis's boxing career.
It's the same thing. He wants to be matched in such a way that the outcome of the match may as well be preordained. You know what's going to happen. No intrigue.
So it's not exciting.
So what you're now saying is you won't give this guy no more exclusives. You won't do no more interviews with him because he expressed his enthusiasm over a boxing match?
Was he supposed to do poo-poo all over it?
You want that he shouldn't talk about it. Shouldn't talk about it at all so that don't put you under pressure. Is that it?
Ridiculous.
That's why so soon after Gervonta Davis's biggest pay-per-view, his biggest fight with Ryan Garcia, just like that, he's lost steam already.
Because what the hell is he doing that anybody should get excited? Who is he about to fight that they should get excited about it?
And look at how averse he is to all of this, to being called out, to a Keyshawn Davis fight. This is why I think, before he ever fights Shakur, or Keyshawn, or anyone of note, he will retire. He would retire from the sport before he shares the ring with any of them.
He'd walk away because he's scared. He's gonna get exposed. He knows it.
His trainer, Coach Kenny Ellis, he knows it. That's why I told Keyshawn not to call him out.
This is your audition for everybody, the fans, for Top Rank, for everybody to be like, okay, he's the guy. We're gonna give him everything. We're gonna talk the shit. Like this is that one. Key. Do you feel pressure with that beat? Like with you knowing that your brothers is on the card? This the one, bro.
Yeah. Nah, bro. Honestly, if you want me to be real, bro, I done fought all around the world, bro. I fought in Russia. I fought in Japan. I fought in Nicaragua, bro. I fought in Las Vegas. I fought in Oklahoma. I never fought in Norfolk. This shit about to turn me up.
Yeah.
Why would this be added pressure? I'm fighting at the crib.
Right.
Like this shit is really about to put me on a whole nother level inside the ring in the moment. I always told y'all I love to fight, and y'all see that I really love to fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? So why would I have extra pressure now that I'm fighting at the crib? Nigga, I'm about to be comfortable, kick back, lay back, and I'm about to fuck Lemos up.
Najee is right. This is a step up in class for Keyshawn Davis, 11-0, with 7 KOs, 25 years old, to Gustavo Lemos of Argentina, who is 28, 29-1.
With 19 KOs, coming off a controversial loss, a controversial decision loss to unbeaten Hitchardson Richens. Can America's own Keyshawn Davis do better
than America's own Hitchardson Richens did? I will say stylistically, this is a different fight than the Hitchardson Richens fight. Hitchardson Richens is a pure boxer, and historically, pressure guys, aggressive guys, volume guys like Gustavo give pure boxers a lot of problems, and we talk about that all the time. But Keyshawn Davis is no pure boxer. He's no outside cutie pie.
Looks more like a boxer puncher.
How did I make that determination, you ask? Well, his activity within a round, the proximity at which he likes to be to his opponent, his propensity to throw combinations, his temperance within a round.
What does he want to do? How often does he want to do it? Where does he want to be when he's doing it?
At only 11-0, there is still room for growth and room for change, but having seen all of Keyshawn Davis's fights, he looks like a boxer-puncher to me.
He fought 3 times last year and he fought 2 times already this one. Last in action in July against Miguel Medueno.
And that was a fun fight. Keyshawn Davis in action is a fun fighter to watch. The Pedraza fight, the Medueno fight were both fun fights to watch. He's not an outside jabber, economic, safety first. He's just not that kind of fighter.
It's not his temperance or the aesthetic of his fights.
Looks more like a boxer-puncher to me. And the boxer-puncher versus the pressure fighter, well, that tends to favor the boxer-puncher.
Bit of a coming out party for Keyshawn Davis that it's going down in his native Norfolk, Virginia.
And that sort of adds to the intrigue of this fight because not every hometown fight goes according to script. According to plan, we know that Subriel Matias' hometown fight, that didn't go to plan. He lost his belt to Liam Barrow. Before that, we saw Katie Taylor make her homecoming fight in Ireland, and she ended up losing to Chantel Cameron.
Hometown fights.
Jarrett Hurd lost his 2 alphabet titles to Julian Williams in what was a hometown fight, just so that Julian Williams could lose those same 2 alphabet titles in what was his hometown fight.
Hometown fights.
Homecoming fights have a tendency to not go according to script, according to plan. And yet Keyshawn Davis is enthusiastic and confident that he will get the job done, that he's already boxed all over the world as an amateur at home.
He's going to be extra comfortable.
He'll get the job done. Can he do a better job against this fighter than Richardson Hitchens did? I think he can because of how the styles break down. He's got a different style to Richardson Hitchens. He's not trying to keep the guy at arm's length the whole night, the whole fight. So he might do all right.
Because he's more comfortable in the pocket and more fluid in the pocket than a Hitchens Richens.
Gotta see, Gustavo Lemos is 29-1 in 30 professional bouts, having never been knocked out, having never been stopped. An Argentinian slugger, and we know that Argentinian sluggers have a reputation. You really gotta beat the hell out of these guys to get them out of there.
They're tough.
We know how he likes to go about fighting a fight, applying pressure, constant pressure. And thus I anticipate that Friday night's fight is going to be an exciting fight to watch. It's going to be fun with a fan-friendly aesthetic.
Keyshawn says that he doesn't feel the pressure, but he very much is under pressure to perform, to deliver, because he's a standout amateur.
Because he's a former Olympian, because he's saying he's ready for Gervonta Davis. Well, surely, if you're ready for Gervonta after just 11 fights, then you should be ready for a Gustavo Lemos.
You should be.
Gustavo's got a lot more fights than Keyshawn does, a lot more pro experience in the paid ranks, more fights, more rounds in the bank. This could get interesting. In men's middleweight news, more on Hamza Sheeraz's looming world title opportunity against a champion that has yet to be announced.
Of which there were 3.
Frank Warren has confirmed that Hamza Sheeraz will box for a world title on the huge Riyadh season card that's being planned for February 22nd. Sheeraz has cemented himself as a leading contender at middleweight with 2 stoppage victories against Austin Williams and Tyler Denny. Those wins secured Sheeraz's position as mandatory challenger to the WBO and IBF 160-pound champion Yanibek Alamkhanalai. The two were ordered by the WBO to come to an agreement for a bout by October 23rd, but an extension was granted until November 11th. Now, Sheeraz's promoter Warren looks to have hinted that a deal has been made between the two and named the Riyadh season card in February as the home for the contest. His next fight will be for a world title. Warren told Boxing Scene, "When we announce it, you will get a name. He will be fighting in February for a world title."
The author of this article seems to be under the impression that Frank is hinting at a fight with Yanibek Alamkhanalai, but Yanibek's own tweets via his own social media, they tell a different story.
This one is from earlier today as Yanibek continues to ask, "Any new news?" So he's being sarcastic. He's been doing this for the last 2 weeks or so, waiting for any new news in reference to a Hamza Sheeraz fight.
Because 2 or 3 boxing scribes accused Yanibek Alamkhanalai of avoiding a fight with Hamza Sheeraz, rejecting an offer to fight Hamza Sheeraz.
We don't know with any certainty that it will be Yanibek that Hamza Sheeraz ends up fighting in February. The event in February is expected to also feature IBF champion Daniel Dubois' first fight since his destructive performance against Anthony Joshua. A rematch between Dubois and Joshua was originally being planned, but Joshua's team, amid rumors of an injury, have said their man won't be ready for February, leading Warren to look for other options.
The gist of it is that the card in February is going to be an all-star card, or they want it to be, and they want some meaningful fights on there. They want Hamza's world title bid to be on there, but is it going to be against Yanni Beck?
Here and now, in today's middleweight division, as it is, Hamza Sheeraz is this division's best bet to get some attention back on it, to get some money flowing through it. He really is, because he's got a fan-friendly style, he's a fun guy to watch, he's got good money behind him, good promotion, frank.
Queensbury.
You know, Arislandi Lara, the WBA champion, he's in his early 40s. He was never that big a draw in his prime. He's definitely not a draw now. The same applies to Carlos Adames. No, he's not as old as Lara.
But he's not a draw either.
He just isn't. Something very similar applies to Yanni Beck Alamkhanalai, who is marginally more talked about than the aforementioned two. But the fact of the matter is, he's not a draw either, and he's a unified champion. He's got 2 alphabet titles.
Top Rank wanted him so badly to be the next generation's Gennady Golovkin, signing a fighter from Kazakhstan.
Attempting to ride the wave that Gennady created, but he's no Gennady Golovkin. He's a good fighter and he's a unified champion, but he is just not that guy.
Maybe it's because he hasn't gotten the right fight.
Or maybe it's bigger than him. Maybe it's just the state of the middleweight division. That if he fought Lara and beat Lara, the hardcores might take notice, but the casuals?
That if he fought Carlos and beat Carlos, yeah, maybe the hardcores would take notice, but the casuals?
I'm not sure that you can remedy the situation at middleweight with Yanni Beck, Lara, and Carlos, with just them. Hamza is the answer. Hamza is the remedy.
Sheeraz.
I think he's the best bet to get attention back on this division because of who promotes him and because of how he fights. He's a fun guy to watch. He's good for a knockout. Physically imposing fighter, statuesque for a 160-pound fighter with the kinds of physical dimensions that could one day see him competing as a super middleweight.
Sheeraz.
Makes me proud to be from Pakistan.
It's
It's a division that needs fresh new faces, new blood.
So I have a rooting interest in Hamza Sheeraz's success, not just because he's a fun fighter to watch,
But because the middleweight division so desperately needs a shot in the arm, someone to bring the excitement back to this weight class. And it could be Hamza if he wins an alphabet title.
How do you like his chances?
Against an Arislandi Lara, a Carlos Adames, a Yanni Beck Alamkhanalai, which one or which ones, some of these champions do you think Hamza's ready for? Which one can he beat?
Any one of them would be a step up in class from a Tyler Denny, from an Ammo Williams.
Even though they're not that well known, they are all formidable fighters.
Good fighters.
Hamza's passed every acid test so far. Here comes the next one in February, and we'll see how he makes out.